Okay, handwriting. Today we have an interesting topic for IELTS Speaking Part 1, topic number 8. If you haven't seen other topics, check our playlist, IELTS Speaking Part 1, from the first topic up to the seventh topic. So today's topic has really interesting questions, and there are lots of interesting things that we're going to talk about. I know handwriting isn't a very typical topic that you are used to. You're used to talking probably about your hometown, about food, your daily routine, etc. This one is going to give you a different edge, a different perspective on the whole thing. Let's go and start answering this question. So, the first question is: do you think handwriting is important? Do you think handwriting is important? Yes, I think handwriting is much of an art nowadays that we have computers and we are typing a lot. So, being able to write with your hand is similar to when people in the past used to draw. So I think in the future it's going to be some kind of a skill that people need probably as artists. Not everyone would want to know how to write with their hands. I don't remember when was the last time that I used my hand to write. Well, you guys are test takers. Maybe you're going to use your hands if you're not taking your IELTS test online. But in general, I think coming and looking forward to where we're going, maybe handwriting would be less relevant compared to what it used to be in the past, whereby everyone had to be able to write by using their hands. The second question: do you prefer writing by hand or by typing? Obviously, typing, I spend most of my time in front of my computer or using my smartphone. So it's much quicker, easier to edit, correct your mistakes without making a lot of mess. So in terms of preferences, I'd go with typing, but handwriting is some sort of how can I put it? Meditation. When you are using your hand, you feel different. I have tried it recently a couple of times, and it's really felt different. And I have found a couple of YouTube videos whereby people are just writing by using their hands, and other people watching them writing by using their hands. Isn't that interesting? Humans never cease to surprise. Okay, number three. Have you ever received a handwritten letter? Yes, obviously, we grew up in a period where we didn't have much of smartphones. When I was going to my middle school back then in the days, we used to write letters to each other. Well, we had phones we could call, but letters seemed like something that could stay for longer. Even though we already had um, dumb phones, not the smart ones that we have every day, we could text people, but texting and calling by using those phones wasn't as common as writing by using your letter, because you have to sit down, have to think, and have to write something longer. And when you read it, it stays with you for a very long time. It just feels different. So yeah, I think I miss those days, and I remember receiving letters and sending a lot of letters when I was younger. And we even had to learn it at school how to write letters and submitting them, and teachers checking our mistakes and probably improving our writing skills. It was quite a creative work. Is your handwriting easy to read? Yeah, I guess it used to be so. Right now, if I try, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, but I think these skills are like riding a bike. Once you get it right, you just get rusty. It doesn't disappear. So I think if I had written for almost 10 years or before finishing actually high school, even in the university. I remember now at the university also we used to write by using our hands in the papers. I just lost it after finishing all these cool things, and starting working, spending most of my time typing on a computer, and never have to use my hand to write again. But I think it's still, even though probably 10 or yeah, almost 10 years has passed since I consistently wrote by using my hand, I think it is still easy to read. I tried to write a little bit a couple of days ago. I was writing something on the paper and it was okay. Yeah. So number five, question number five is the last question for this part. Did you learn cursive writing in school? Yeah, right before we started going to school, it was compulsory to learn cursive writing. So the people before us, and especially our parents, used to learn cursive writing, and I think it was really cool, kind of an art of some sort. But it being compulsory was kind of like unnecessary. It appeared or it came a little bit different and weird to me when I was in the schools and seeing people telling, hearing people telling us stories about having been forced to learn how to write cursively. So I think, yeah, I never learned it. I tried to do it, and my parents showed me a little bit of it, how to do it somehow. So I kind of like tried once or twice, and because it wasn't compulsory, in the time when I was going to school, so I didn't really put much focus on that, and I didn't even like it because I thought you have to write A really quickly and move on instead of spending much longer trying to write one letter. So for me, it was more about efficient than the style. So yeah, I learned a little bit of it. I never practiced it, but I know people who are really good at doing that. Yeah. So that is the last question. Uh, what I want to tell you this time is when it comes to studying, especially languages, especially when you're trying to improve your speaking skills or learning how to answer questions, your best friend is practicing. Learning facts and theories about stuff is really, really important because it's some sort of an input. You're putting something, you're learning how things are done. So that is much more easier to imitate, and speaking is the game of imitation. So when you are imitating, try to spend time. When you are listening also to the sample answers, take your time, listen, understand, try to find your own facts, organize them in your head, and try to give you a very original answer. And practice different kinds of questions. I told you I'm going to give you 50 different types of questions. So you have a lot of resources to practice, a lot of examples. And not only 50 questions, these are only part one. They're going to be part two and part three questions. And you're going to have full tests. So this platform is going to be a place where you could practice and listen to sample answers for your IELTS speaking, all parts, and for the full test. So I'm wishing all the best. Keep on practicing, keep on grinding, don't give up. Take care of yourself and see you next time.